Quick sound check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear the mic? Testing 1, 2, 3. Do you read me, damnation? Happy Monday to you, Ginger Power. Atlam, hello, hello. Gamroot, glad you're here. Can you all hear me? Just want to make sure. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Atlam, for that confirmation. I guess since we've got that, we might as well get started. I was having a little technical difficulties this morning, but that fixed her up. We had a follow while we were in the countdown from Facebook. Ricardo Fanfani, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated, Ricardo. Welcome back, Damn Fam. My name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today's stream is community favorite. It's Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday we host a recurring stream where I showcase and teach you how to build concepts in Dungeon Alchemist. Right now we are building a multi-story wizard tower, so it'll be multiple levels, and it is round, as you can see, and it also features a neat little escape route going out the backside here behind these rocks. There is a little sewer kind of tunnel escape hatch. So, we've begun working on this, and it's essentially in pieces at the moment. We have the bottom floor mostly set up. Second floor is ready to go. We started working on kind of partitioning off a garden space yesterday, or last Monday. So I want to kind of finish the garden and kind of decorate the exterior a little bit, and then we can focus on second, third, maybe a fourth floor. How's everyone doing today? How was your weekend? And raise of hands, were any of you able to catch our panel last night on during PaizoCon? Just pulling up the YouTube feed just in case so I don't miss any chat, because their stuff has not been working lately. Stand by. Okay, so I've got the YouTube feed pulled up just in case. If anyone says anything, I can see it. And I've got Steam pulled up as well. Rad, fantastic. So, let's hear it. How was everyone's weekend? Did you do anything interesting? Did you sit down with your players this weekend, whether it was online or at your table, and get some tabletop gaming in? Or did you happen to do some session prep? Did you spend time with friends or family? Did you end up working? Or did you end up doing something exciting outside of the home? Let's hear about it. This door? It is a cabin door. It technically does this normally, but I rotated it inward. This is really just a really small square house right here that I essentially use as the entry to this building. Which it's a simulated entry. There's really not a round spot yet, or like a round doorway yet. Our next update will feature round rooms with doorways that attach to it. So that'll be very cool. But until then, we are just kind of at the whims of our creativity. So in this case, like here, I'm just simulating that there's a gate by doing like a little arch. Something like that. So you see a gate from the top down. No one's going to get in there and really criticize that, you know, and look at it and be like, oh, that's not a gate. There's a wall behind that. Most people won't get down and see that in the top down. Oh my gosh, tell me about your new 3D printer. What kind did you get? And please tell me you assembled it correctly while toasty, because that could be very bad. Hopefully you did it all correctly. 3D printers are dangerous tools, my friend. They run really hot. They run all the time. You want to make sure they're assembled correctly. Hey, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the kind words. They're amazing, right? These floors, watchtower. By the way, these round floors, you can find them on the workshop. If you just go into Browse Assets, you could see this wooden round platform with stair cut out. That's what I used right there. It was made by one of the creators in our community named Swedish Cook. Oh, you did a benchy print? Well, that's iconic. That's pretty cool. SV06. What brand is that? SV. Arthur, did I answer your question correctly there? About the doorway? I'm kind of making a fake door. It's a false door, if you will. And then I use the overhang of this door, which is normally outward, to simulate like a little rooftop. Oh my gosh, what happened? A little rooftop. You see that there? That's normally this like neat roof overhang. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Alternatively, I could get creative and do like a stone top with like a staircase or something like that. You can get really creative with our structural objects. And, you know, something like this could work as like a thing, but I really like the other one. That looks better. Yeah, this is great. I mean, abstracts block movement, and I have an abstract hole for like a floor like this too. Like a floor type thing with a hole cut into it, and you guys have seen it on the stream, a bunch of you have. But I prefer these object ones because there's colliders set up by the creator, and you can use a token in this and walk through it. Check this out. It's really cool. I'll have to shrink this null down a little bit. It's a little big. So this is what the door looks like from first person. You could block this with something that's like an abstract image that's dark. In fact, I could shove one in there and show you. But ultimately, I think this is immersive enough till our next update. Why does that keep deleting? It's so weird. I'll show you how a second floor works really quickly. Okay, so I mean, most of us growing up played with like Lego or like building blocks, or you know, like maybe you built a sand castle. A lot of it is, you know, assembling and stacking things, right? If you want to build a tall sandcastle, you build bricks with your buckets, right? You compact them and you stack them, right? I'll check it in a minute. So what this is just some objects cleverly stacked on top. So one of the objects is this guy, the wooden platform, which has been carefully, meticulously set up and optimized with really good colliders, so it fits this space really good, and it's navigable by a token, or say like the cinematic camera. Sorry, I just drew a blank there. It's a little early for me. Mapmaker Monday is the earliest stream of the week. So drop that in, and that's our second floor. That's pretty much the way to go. And what I've done is I plan to put everything on the second floor on top of that floor. That way I can pull it out as one piece. Right now, you get an example because all of the walls are on this floor. It moves as one piece. That makes it very easy to move it and pull it off. Maybe just delete this one piece, take a screenshot of the bottom floor, Control Z, it's back. Or I can save as floor 1, save as floor 2, save as floor 3. As I pull off the top floor, delete it, and do a screenshot. Does that make sense? Putting it together in a compartmentalized, stacked way like this gives you a lot of freedom in like how you can export the map later. If that makes any sense. So this floor, I downloaded from the workshop. It's an asset on the workshop shared by Swedish Cook, who is a prolific map maker in our community. He's been sharing maps for a couple years now. and also is started to make 3D models and share them on the workshop. He said, hey, we need round floors with a stair cutout. And it has like cross timber under supports, like support beams, so it seems logical and makes sense. It's a very neat, very clean 3D model. And he's made it a bunch of different round ones in the last like week or so. Staircases. Here, let's sort by most recent. Here he made a stackable stair. That one's square. Scroll down a bit. See, here we go. We got some corner pieces, some stair banisters, cutouts of all kinds to kind of really get into round building. And here's a hole for a spiral stair. So this one is I'm going to do on the next floor with a spiral stair going up instead. Or maybe the top floor will have a spiral stair. Either way, we'll figure it out. Isn't that really cool? He's put a lot of effort into round stairs and whatnot, too. So there's a bunch of objects that were shared by this creator that can help facilitate round building right now with the round assets available in Dungeon Alchemist. So these walls, this wall is available under Objects, Structural, Round Constructions. We have a few round walls. There's some tents, some different bricked walls. So that's essentially this wall right now. Gosh, a bit off. Like that's about as close as it's gonna get. Anyway. Pretty close to alignment. So does that make sense how I've assembled the second floor? That's the first floor too, by the way. I can grab the first floor and it's one solid piece. I made a point of that because I wanted it to essentially be as simple to pull apart and move as possible. No worries, that's what I'm here for. Here to explain. Here to help and guide you through your map making journey. So if any of you have any questions related to this build, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Or any build for that matter. Maybe you're struggling with a concept of your own that you're building right now and you need some guidance. Let me know and I'm here for you. So let's get back to roping off this garden, which is what I was doing last stream, if I remember correctly. So I'm just going to hold shift as I grab and kind of place the next bit of fence. I'm just trying to line them up. They don't need to be perfect. Probably going to put a gate at some point over here. This is essentially like a little garden where I'll have, you know, food and other things. Ah, that's a good question, Kaiser. So that is a very good question, actually. And it's so second nature to me, I forget sometimes. So under the object panel, you notice this little toggle here. It says collisions. This actually, we need to put this as advanced and have like a menu with more options, more toggles, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe that'll come at some point. But when you disable collisions, a whole bunch of other behaviors are activated in Dungeon Alchemist. First off, let me show you the first one, is you can merge objects together. So before, objects would get mad at each other when you try to put them together if collisions are on, right? They would say no. You see that red box of UI there? It's saying, no, you can't put that there. So when collisions are off, you can merge objects together to make new and unique objects, right? Maybe you want to make an interesting, you know, kind of angled face like that. Now I've made a new structure by combining two structures. That's one of the main benefits of disabling collisions. You can also move objects much closer to each other than you could normally do. Now, the secondary behaviors that I was talking about, one of them is when you disable collisions, this little guy appears. You can now raise and lower objects on the Z axis. I guess depending on where you edit stuff in 3D, the z-axis, if you do a 3D printing, for instance, the z-axis is the up and down axis. However, I guess designing in Unity, it's the y-axis? I don't know. Anyway. So, I essentially now put this up first at the floor at this level, at the level I want, and then I start stacking everything on top of it. So, essentially, a secondary behavior of disabling collisions is the ability to raise objects up and down. A third behavior is the ability to scale objects to way beyond their max and minimum size. Now, this will not work with objects that have the lock on scaling. Some objects just are fixed and they cannot be scaled because they are attached to another surface or something. But this is really great because you can make like big massive walls, or maybe have a giant room or something like that, because you can scale objects up proportionally. You can also have tiny Lilliputian scale objects, if that makes sense. So those are all the secondary behaviors. Yeah, I know. I wish you could too. Who knows? Maybe down the road and like the Fun with Objects update, something like that might be more viable. You know what I mean? How you doing, Robert? By the way, we need to have a discussion, you and I. If you want to DM me after stream, I have been so swamped and I haven't been able to put a whole lot of time into that world map concept, because right now I'm literally just like on Dungeon Alchemist DA time. So DA standard time. Or damn standard time, if you will. I've been very busy producing content, working with content creators in the back end. Yesterday night I was doing a panel. I had a prep for that panel. But yeah, I do want to chat with you. So don't think I'm like ignoring you or anything. I've just been kind of like not have enough mental bandwidth to put any time into it at the moment, because there's so much on my plate from the bosses. No. To make it, I mean, second floors are done by hand. This wood floor piece is a custom one, but originally I had planned on using something like this as the second floor, which actually works really well. I had made a custom variation of this floor that has a cutout of it. We also have these custom objects called abstracts. So this one here, you can insert an image into to make custom flooring as well. So you have all sorts of options when it comes to a second floor, especially in a round room. One moment here. Let me show you how you can insert an image into this. So this is one with a stair cut out in it. This was what I was originally using for the second floor. And one of our community members actually was like, I made a wood stair. So I started using that instead because it fits so much better to the build. This here is like smoke and mirrors. This is a PNG image with that section just erased. And that is essentially a screenshot that I took of that tile floor and then put into like a photo editor to make this. It works great. It looks like a second floor, but I wanted it to be functional with a token. We'll probably end up setting a secondary, like a channel up just for it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Robert. Hey, so Kaiser, second floor support, we plan to offer AI integration for that, meaning you can generate multiple levels using our AI support, but that's down the road. It's not anytime soon. So right now, the only way to build second floors is getting clever and doing things by hand, like how I'm doing now. So essentially, there is, I mean, like, let's say I didn't do round multi-floor. I have many more choices for upper levels, for instance. There is tons and tons of options for freestanding walls for second floors. Every single wall type can be used and put at the second level. Freestanding walls can be raised up and down, they can be rotated, they can be resized. Because they're an object instead of a AI wall, they're not locked in place like the floors, the doors, the windows, etc. Those have certain guidelines. So the walls are the foundation. The floors are the foundation. The walls have to attach to the floors. Doors and windows have to have walls to attach to. So essentially, these are a way to supersede that and get around it doing multiple levels. With that in mind, people have gone pretty epic with some of these structures here to do second floors, walls, city walls, multiple level structures, etc. It's quite possible to do so. It just takes a little bit of patience. You got to roll up your sleeves and, build it all by hand. It's essentially Lego, or it's kind of like D&D meets The Sims, if you will. Watchtower, you were AFK? Okay, well, welcome back. But yeah, at the moment, multi-floor does require, some patience and either using objects built into DA in the object menu, because they can be raised up. Objects can be raised. Or objects from the workshop, which they're starting to fill these niches quite well, where... Hey, Seisu, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we discussed that a little bit ago, actually. Atlam. So the first thing I told him was the collision toggle, was to disable it. And when you disable it, that enables the secondary behaviors like raising objects up and down. Sorry if that wasn't clear earlier, I apologize. Just in case anyone missed that. So like this stone platform, I've seen people use this as like a second floor or parts of a second floor. We have wooden platforms as well. Like these boxy ones, or these ones here can be great for, doing multiple levels and stuff like that. They're not perfect, but they work. But as we evolve and, release new stretch goal updates and get closer to leaving early access, things like multi-level will be added and be much more natural instead of using workarounds. Okay, now let's get back to this fence because I've done very little building. Not a big deal though. Certain boxes do. There's some planking that works pretty well as well. I can't remember plank, right? Like these, there's like some wooden boards that are, I don't know what it's called. Platform, maybe? Anyway, there's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, these ones work really good for second floors. You can stitch a bunch of them together, like this. See there? Email, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, I'm sorry about your frustrations with the cropping stuff. In all honesty, though, I do feel like pretty confident that you can get pretty quick at cropping them by hand for now. And eventually, who knows, we may come up with a more novel solution. I will tell you this, though. Our next update has a green screen biome in it, which means you can put structures atop of the green screen biome and there's no shadows or anything like that. And removing the green from the background is very easy because, like in Photoshop or GIMP, any photo editor, you can do a color remove and just remove that green. It's gone. So that should make it really easy and quick. Yeah, I saw you talked with Aranis a bit. He's a really good guy. Carl is really clever, and he does a lot of magic with DA. But yeah, I understand why you want the cropped map. Personally, I'd rather have a transparent background than a cropped map. Because then you could have the overhang of the trees and the buildings that the devs don't want to cut off and artistically lose. But then it's transparent like a PNG. and then there is no, thing there that can be seen. If it were me, that's what I'd want, personally. And I think we're going towards that. But it's neither here nor there. I mean, imagine if the edge of the map was just a little bit longer, but it's all transparent. So if you want to overlay a couple maps together, you can do that because you just overlay the transparent layers on each other and it won't affect it. Does that make sense? And then there's still those trees overhanging off the edge, the buildings, the walls, all that stuff. So, anyway, moving on. I didn't mean to call you out there. I just wanted to... I noticed that conversation this morning when I woke up, and I was going to actually reach out to you to see if there was a resolution or anything, and because it happened while I was kind of in my off hours. Despite popular belief, I do, in fact, rest. There is only one weather option at the moment, Alex. By the way, welcome, Alex, from YouTube. You can add snow. So under this terrain tab here, you can, in any biome, you can then go add a layering of snow. So if you turn on snow weather, it doesn't sprinkle snow or anything, but it does put a layering of snow on top of everything. Now, with that in mind, notice here, it's affecting the inside of the structure. There's snow inside of it. But, I will say this, Alex, if you use something like a virtual tabletop, like Foundry, for instance, or Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, you can use, like, modules, plugins, stuff like that and scripts to affect the weather. And I probably would recommend, like, if you want rain or snow or anything like that, to do that. Now, I do want everyone to know here, one of our community members actually created some 3D models that can add snow and rain to your map. Here, let me hurry and save this because I haven't in a moment. I'm going to save, and then we're going to hop on the workshop and take a look. Okay, so if you go to the asset browser, just search rain. There is rain and rain. It's actually hard to see because it just is a drizzle of rain. That's all it is. And you can make it the whole map size by just... It's a tiny, tiny little collider, which gives it makes it very easy to make it entire map size in like a single move or drag it. Oop, I lost. Yeah, that's part of the problem with these invisible. But now we've added a rain effect. Awesome, good. I didn't know you guys had a voice convo. Yep, a lot of VTTs can do weather, either through a native like feature or through an effect, like a module or a plugin. It's very true. Rid of that rain. I had so much fun on the official Paizo channel last night. So last night I was streaming on the official on the Paizo Twitch channel. We did I did a panel, and I kind of just showcased Dungeon Alchemist and map making in general, and it was very cool. There were so many faces, the unfamiliar faces, because they just didn't know about DA, and they were really shocked by it and surprised, and had lots of interesting, intriguing questions. It was fun. Yeah, there is a VOD, I believe, unless they deleted it. So I'll try and find it and share it across our socials. I was looking at it last night, so as long as it's still there. Okay. That is looking pretty good. Good little top-down inspection. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and find the VOD, and you know what? One moment. I found it. Whoops, you broke it. Okay. Hey, Paladin Lord. Hey, yep, you just found it too. I literally just found it. Thank you, Seisu, appreciate you. I mean, most of it was going over the basics of DA, so I mean, you'll probably be familiar with most of it, but it was still very fun. Ooh, just introduce a community that wasn't too familiar with DA. Just was fun to, like, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, it does go on sale. That being said, we're kind of at the whims of Steam sales. So I don't know if y'all know this, but we actually, developers on the Steam platform have to apply for the various Steam sales, and then if they're approved for the Steam sale, then they get to be part of the Steam sale. So every time there's a Steam sale, we apply for it, and then we find out if we get approved, and then if we're approved, then we have the sale. So I do know the Steam summer sale is coming up in next month. I believe it starts mid-month, probably around the 15th to the 20th, most likely. You could probably find an article or something about it online. But the thing is that will be the next major Steam sale. So if we do go on sale, it would be then. I don't know if you can wait a few weeks, At this point, it'd probably be like 3-ish, 4 weeks, probably. And it's still kind of a up in the air coin toss, I don't mean to say that as like, I just wish I knew. I wish I could give you a for sure answer. Email couldn't wait. I know. You were very, very eager to join our community, to be a part of the damnation the other day. I'm glad you got it, honestly. Okay, what's your first impressions after using it for a few hours now? Hey, Forrest the Lime Fox. Yes, I am a map maker. I like to be called a cartographer, actually. No, I'm just kidding. This tool is called Dungeon Alchemist. This is the official channel for Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map making utility available on Steam, and it allows you to build maps by hand very intricately. So you could spend hours and hours building them to your exact specifications, or you can utilize our in-house developed AI. It's a procedural generation AI that essentially we trained entirely in-house. We don't use any external data sets or maps or anything like that to train it. So 100% internal data sets and training, and all the assets used in our AI and in Dungeon Alchemist, aside from assets that are shared on the Steam Workshop, were all made in-house by a talented team of artists as well. So we like to think we took an ethical, above-board approach to our AI creation. And it's totally optional to use. So if you use Dungeon Alchemist, you don't have to utilize the AI. Also, things on tables disappear with the table. What do you mean? Honestly, I don't care if you guys get it on a sale, if you get it full price. I appreciate the support either way. You know what I mean? The thing is we are a small indie company, and so every little bit helps. And if you can't support us monetarily, at least get the word out about us. Like, if you enjoy what you see here today, let your friends, let your DM know, let anybody you can know. Shout it from the rooftops. Okay, so that's actually a normal behavior in DA. Anything that's on top of something in Dungeon Alchemist, it's considered one massive object to move together. And that actually allows you can use this to your advantage. Watch. Meaning I can move this whole structure as one thing because they're all on top of this platform. I can scale them all together because they're all technically one thing. But as a downside, if I delete the object on the bottom, they all delete too. Yes, that will help. That's the workaround. I was just about to get to that. So if you disable collisions, let's do this with a table. I'll show you. This is a pro tip here from Watchtower. I was literally about to show him that. You beat me, bro. Okay, so if you push this table out like that, right? Then you disable collisions. Then you just move the table. No, wait, it won't. That isn't going to work. Everything's still considered one. That's weird. No, it won't work. That won't work. Sorry. Oh, on all the bread? So you wanted to do it on all the bread? Yeah, you could just move these like a smidge. That is kind of a pain, though. But essentially, once they're off of essentially, they can't be stacked anymore either when you do this. But watch when I delete the table. Those ones will stay. Does that make sense? Yeah. See, I don't know if I care for that method. Anyway, let's get back to the garden. So let's look at what we can put in here. Kind of want to put some vines on this, like trellis thing. Maybe some ivy. Something like that. That looks really good. I like that. Just looks so much more alive. Right now, the only way to make roofs is to place object roofing over them. So there's a couple roofs in DA that are kind of simple. If you just type roof, like this one here is a shingled spire was what I plan to use for this when I'm done. Something like that. You can get it up to scale and then use the Z height to just drop it on top. So something like that, right? There is also this rooftop, the shingled roof. This can work on like a rectangle structure or L-shaped structures if you combine a couple roofs together like this, or something like this. You can do them together to do like a square. So you have a few options here for roofing built into DA. They're very simple. In the future, we plan to offer roofing options for the AI structures. It's coming. Now, the secondary options is to go on the workshop and just type in roof. Or maybe ceiling. Roof. You just got to bark at the workshop. And then there's literally hundreds of roofing options. Tons of different ones. Round, square, just standard shingles. So you can go through and kind of use these to supplement until a time there is something better with India. Oh, Forrest, I'm so sorry to hear that. Isn't it the worst when your like online tool isn't functioning correctly and you're like you need the content from it? One thing I always do on D&D Beyond when I make a new character, and I don't know if Roll20 has this feature, but you may want to look into it, is they also have an option to export your character as like a PDF, like the sheet. So you can have a reference of it, offline, something to look at on your phone or whatever. I'm not sure if Roll20 does that, but if they don't, you could always just do like print screen and then print that page, or print the whole thing and then save it as a PDF. So if you print the whole like page of your character sheet and then save it as a PDF, I'm not sure if they do that in Roll20 or not, but it would be really cool. Maybe there's a YouTube video on it or something. Try DuckDuckGo or Google and search how to export my Roll20 character sheet as a PDF. Maybe something like that. Export Roll20 character sheet PDF. I don't know if he's using Beyond. I think he's using just Roll20. So, yeah, if you search roofing, also in collections, I believe someone's put together collections of roofing and other things too. There's actually prefab homes. These are great to kind of plug in a few structures nearby if you need something that you don't plan on your players going into, but it's just like fills out a village. Yep, there's hundreds of prefab houses on there. The workshop is your friend. It's like probably one of the most powerful tools at your disposal inside of DA. Because this expands what you can do in DA. Like, look at this, for instance, these skyboxes. Okay, you only have 2 skyboxes in DA by default. You have, if you look up at the sky, right, it's, here, let's get down in the cinematic camera. Moment, stand by. Maybe. Did I just crash it? Probably did. When you look up at the sky, you have this one skybox option for day and one for night, right? There's no clouds. Kind of a bummer. You go into night, more of the same. But it's got the night sky with the moon. I actually prefer the night skybox over the day one. Our friend Asmodeus, one of our moderators in the community, and you may know him on the workshop as Dallas RT, he made these skybox assets as a way to essentially wrap your map in a custom skybox. Now, this is only really useful when you're in first person, but that's really when you need it the most. taken. Now let's go inside of this and take a look. I mean, doesn't that feel so much more immersive than before? There is a couple of these skyboxes available on the workshop, and these are great for first-person or cinematic camera shots. When you're down at the first-person level, looking out at the sky, it's a much more immersive shot. Anyway. So Luna Morgenstern asks, says I would even buy further support for support of Dungeon Alchemist. I would even buy DLCs for further support of Dungeon Alchemist, since you only pay the full price. Actually, the devs have stated they plan to offer optional paid expansions. You know, things like sci-fi, cyberpunk, you know, different aesthetics and themes. And essentially, think of old school games where they'd, you know, release like a full product, and then they'd have optional expansions to expand upon that, right? So Dungeon Alchemist has a full product in its fantasy aesthetic with all of its biomes and objects and quality of life improvements and features. That will be a single... What am I looking at over here? Like a graphical glitch. Anyway, it'll be a single thing, right? Then later on, say we offer a paid expansion, maybe $20 for, say, 3,000 to 4,000 objects, probably 3 dozen room types, a dozen new biomes that are all themed around cyberpunk or sci-fi. And those will be available as like an add-on through Steam. So you don't have to get them unless you want them, and then they just add all the stuff into DA, and it'd be much more functional. It just adds all those new biomes within the existing system. Okay, back to the build. So we've got this little area here. Let's kind of put in some planters. I'm thinking that'll be a good thing. Let's do like these beds. There's like a round one. I kind of like that. Do a couple of them over here. Put them right next to each other. And then we've got some square beds. Rotate this. If you hold control with objects, it really, some objects, like if they rotate on corners, like that one does, if you hold control, you can rotate it a little bit more precisely. I think I'm gonna do put like a lot of beds that go along here. And I know that's kind of weird, right? But the plan is to put maybe like a little, some tools or something over here, some flowers or something. I'll use up this space. That, or I might tighten it up altogether. Ooh, a nice large. I like the longer planter than the individual ones. What do y'all think? Those look neat. Set that. Or I could put it this way. Huge bed. Then you need to be able to walk around it. Like, how can you do anything with the planter bed? Right? It's tab. Ioplex. So any variant, if you press tab, it'll shift between them. That information is available on our wiki, but unfortunately, yeah, it's not built into DA anywhere. So any object that's pre-configured, so these, we call these internal, oh, my bad. Internally, we call these, goodness, why can't I rotate this? There we go. My keyboard was being sticky. So we call these variants. So any object that you can find that's pre-decorated, if you press tab before you place it, it will shift through the pre-decorated variants. Also, each time you place one, it usually just randomly puts out a new variant. Yep, tab is your friend. So am I. I think I'm going to stick with these round plots for the whole thing, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to make them bigger. Because you can walk around the round plot, right? And I might do like a cross beam or something on it. We'll do one planter over here, and then maybe one over here, and then some stuff in the middle. I'm open to suggestions of what I should put in here. Dryad, and that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Got some beans. Look at all the various plants. Some pumpkins. More beans. Is there any way to print your character sheet? Well, this is going to be his garden. In one of the levels of the tower, I plan to have like a potion kind of brewing area with plants and mushrooms and stuff that are more specific to that. I could have some overflow, but I do want him to have a food supply. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. But I do like that idea. Why Linador? Or, no, who was Ammon that said that? Sorry, Ammon. Linador asks if you can invite players into the map. No, this is a map maker and immersion tool. So you make the map here, and then you would either export it for print or for like a video, or you can export it to a virtual tabletop, which is how you facilitate online play. So like Foundry, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, these tools here are called virtual tabletops, VTTs for short. You insert the map image into that, or the map video, animated map, into Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20 above VTT, and that will in turn facilitate a kind of symbiotic relationship. So you create the immersive, beautiful maps in DA, export them to your virtual tabletop of choice, and the virtual tabletop gets the map and important data for the map, including lighting, walls, windows, doors, etc., line of sight information for that. And then you use the virtual tabletop to facilitate online play. Foundry, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, they all facilitate online play. Well, what I'm going to tell you, Forrest the Lime Fox, is when you go to print in Windows, you can actually when you get a print prompt, you can hit save as PDF instead. So in the print prompt, when it says to send it to a printer, you choose a different printer and you hit save as PDF instead. And then it'll save it locally as a PDF on your computer. And then at that point, you could put it on your phone or print it or whatever. You don't have to print it. You could just save it as a digital file. So, assuming I wanted to print this Twitch page, you could select a printer, or you could hit save as PDF, and then it'll just print it as a PDF and saves it as a file instead. Does that make sense? By the way, thank you for the follows in the last hour. Sam's Nerd Shop, Random Zero, Bang, Forrest the Lime Fox. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Damn Fam. Oh, we just got another follow. J. Beck Fox. Thank you so much, J. Beck. Much appreciated. That's probably the way to go, to be honest with you. Reshow what? So you're on Roll20, right? And then you, in your browser, just you could just type Control P or go to the print prompt. A print prompt in your browser has been around forever. But typically, in your thing, you should have your printer listed at the top, right? Then you can go to destination instead, do save as PDF. Honestly, I'm kind of in between both. So I like to I'm kind of gonna say a little bit of both here and there, and then we'll lean into whatever one is the more popular. No, I'm just joking. There really hasn't been enough time to discuss it with the devs about whether they prefer DamnFam or Damnation, so either or works for me at the moment. Gotcha. Honestly, I mean, you could do that with any print prompt. So you could go to a web page like you're going to print a page from the website, and then just save as PDF. So you save it as a digital file that you can reference locally and even search with the search options in the PDF tools. We're the damned. The damned. Why don't we call ourselves the damned? Yeah, for sure. However, at the same time, he does things like has the register roll a 666 on it. So I don't really know what to do with that sometimes. Wim plays he plays dangerous games sometimes. Okay, let's put some flowers in here, and those will be, and maybe some mushrooms or something in this. Maybe this little cool. Rafflesia? Is that how that's pronounced? I've never tried pronouncing that. Whoa. Whoa. EA just chugged. That was crazy. Remember, they also said that they don't want to have any gore in DA, and now we have whole biomes that are just plains of skeletons or weird fleshy pods and blood rivers. So I don't know. It's so inconsistent sometimes. I feel like sometimes they play mom and pop. Like one of the devs will say one thing and the others will say another. You know what I mean? Did anyone remember playing that game with your parents when you were young? One of your parents would say no and the other would say yes. Right? I mean, a big portion of my job is public perception and public image. So, I get it. If that's the case, then why am I so ugly? I don't know what it is. Honestly, I a lot of like I'm like the fun uncle. Like all my nieces and nephews think I'm super awesome, love being around me and stuff. So like I typically like kids you know, think Mac is pretty cool. I don't usually scare them off. Usually. Okay. If you are a horticulturist and I am just butchering this flower bed, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making a map. Yep. So, this is our official channel, and my name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. So, essentially, right now we're showcasing how to build a map and kind of tips and tricks to expand your map making capability. Source filmmaker, I'm not familiar with that. Interesting. Tell me more. Oh, really? Huh. What are you trying to say? Just kidding. I really think that one's kind of cool how it provides shade, you know? Kind of want to use that actually to some degree to shade some part of something. But I like this little dryad bed right now. It looks cool. Are those on the workshop? Is that what you're talking about, Asmodeus? The Nightwing, how you doing? Welcome to the stream and thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. And Figgin, thank you for the follow as well. Much appreciated. The last 10 minutes or so, we've had a few follows. Appreciate you both. If y'all have any questions about what you're looking at, by the way, feel free to ask. These streams are kind of hosted in an AMA format. I essentially am here to guide you through making your own maps, hear your feedback and suggestions, provide live support, and if you have questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, maybe you're new to our community and you're curious about what you're looking at, just let me know and I'll guide you through it. We have a lot of really amazing community members who love to help out any way they can, answer questions, provide support, etc. So just let us know if you need any help. Ooh. I need some of these on the house. That'll look cool. Seem older. Yes, so Nightwing, our maps work with Owlbear as a JPEG, an MP4, or a WebM file. I've tested it personally. So they work. Our maps work with pretty much any virtual tabletop as long as they support stock image or video files. Now, that being said, we do offer exports that provide a lot of data in our maps, including walls, windows, doors, lighting, etc. for a few virtual tabletops, including Foundry, Roll20, Above VTT, Fantasy Grounds. But the Owlbear community is really clever. They have their extension market. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Are you familiar with the extensions for Owlbear? Nightwing? So while I wait for that, I'll kind of explain to you. Someone in the Owlbear community, oh, you need to check it out. Here, hold on. So extensions kind of allow you to modify your experience within Owlbear. I actually have a relationship with them. I kind of talk to their community manager sometimes, and I've been in their Discord a few times. But the thing about Owlbear is these extensions allow you to add functionality to Owlbear that's not stock in it. And one of the extensions is called Smoke and Spectre. Smoke and Spectre allows you to use the Foundry maps here in Dungeon Alchemist, which our Foundry maps can be animated or still maps, so just a JPEG or an MP4 or a WebM for animated. And then they include a JSON text file, very small text file. That text file will include wall data, lighting, line of sight, windows, doors, etc. And walls. So essentially, it saves you a lot of time in drawing out the line of sight information for your players if you do that already by hand. So Dungeon Alchemist, you use a Dungeon Alchemist to make the map, make a Foundry export, install the Smoke and Spectre extension on your Owlbear, and then you can plug our maps in. The damn challenge is actually going to be... Oh, yeah, I gotta prolong it. I gotta extend it. This damn challenge, the next one is going to be a long one because we're not having it the next stream. The next two streams are going to be the reveal streams. The 1st and the 8th will be reveal streams showcasing magic. Sorry. So, Foundry export includes the image of the map or a video of the map and then a file that gives you all the other data. So you could just do a standard image export for Owlbear or a video export. Those both work. But if you want all the map data, check out that extension. Okay? Hope that answered your question there. So the next Damn Challenge stream is actually not a Damn Challenge stream. It's a reveal stream. The next Damn stream and the next Damn Challenge stream are reveal streams. So those slots are replaced. So essentially it's at the same time, same day, but it's a reveal stream. And in the reveal stream, we'll be showcasing all sorts of new stuff from the Magic update. But you, instead of these little teaser clips like we've been showing on our, social platforms and Discord and whatnot, it'll be 2 hours of live showcasing. So you get to see everything in action as it currently functions. Yeah, as long as I don't find like a freaking game-killing bug in the next 2 weeks, we should be good. I kind of want to put like a stack of wood next to this place. I think that'd be a good idea. Oop. I know we have these pyres, right? And these look great, like just pre-cut wood. Put it outside like this, so it's like ready to go. Maybe a little cover. And let's put an axe. Set that there. I'll put a couple of these logs on the top here. Smaller. Hey, thank you, Eric. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. I haven't paid a lot of attention specifically, but I will start taking note of how different things operate. Like, I did notice some lag for like doors in the previous Unity build. Like, if there was a lot of wall, for instance, it took forever to trigger where the door would go. I also noticed that there was some issues, in the past with terrain brushes if things got big. So I'm going to play around with it and see, and I'll get back to you on it. That is a good question, though, Light. I wish I had the answer. I'm sorry, bud. So I think I'm gonna run like a line of these down. Supposed to be like. Hey Dyson, how are you? You know, honestly, I've seen that game and it looks pretty good. It's interesting, huh? Is it pretty good? Um, I... What did I jinx? Swedish cook? I don't know what I jinxed, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna find another bug, is what you're saying? I mean, stranger things have happened. You know, if it's gonna be someone to find it, it'll probably be me. I think I'm kind of like a tech harbinger sometimes. Like, I'm always really good at finding, like, the game-breaking thing. I don't really understand it. And do something like this, that it's like a support structure for all this. Looks pretty good. I mean, if I find the bug before it goes live, that means none of you get to find it, right? To be fair, though, it was only a matter of time before someone found it, and we were lucky I found it early. My build, because it's a more, like, stable live version, I was seeing the bug and the devs weren't seeing it in their build. They thought I was crazy, and I was like, no, you need to load up my build and look. Like, over 2/3 of the objects in my build were missing surfaces or invisible. And I just thought that they were working on stuff on their end, and I was like, hey, is this going to be fixed soon? Because I can't really shoot content. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I asked you a month ago, and you said it probably wasn't a big deal, it'd be fixed soon, and nothing's changed. And he looks at it, and he's like, oh, this is a big deal. And so we essentially... Ooh, these might be even better. What would be the best ones for this? Anyway, it was bad, but I'm glad I found it when I did. I'm glad I brought it to their attention, and I'm glad I was adamant about it, kept bringing it up, you know what I mean? Because if I did not, yeah, we would be up a creek without a paddle. They probably would not have noticed it until it essentially had launched. So, that would not have been good. Or until we were deep in testing, when they were in the more live builds. Oh, I'm sure a lot. I felt pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, and I felt awful, right? Both in the fact that there was a delay, and, like, that I found this massive bug that just slowed down everything, and just put a freaking wrench in the works, you know what I mean? So, I feel pretty bad about the whole situation, but at the same time, I am glad that it is, in a good way, it really did help DA for the better. It's, like, super future-proofed. Hey, Aconite. Like, I don't think they were mad at me or anything, right? But, like, I'm sure it was frustrating to have to deal with this bug so late in development. I like that support beam a lot more. That looks so clean. Locked in. Put like one in the middle of each. That looks. Yep, I like that. Digging it. Yeah, well, no, the first floor will be easy to generate with AI. The second, third floor, you'll still have to do by hand. Multi-level isn't going to be in this next update. It's planned in a future update. Whim's kind of saying it'll be happening, like, possibly in the update after. So we have Magic as our next update, and then the one after is most likely going to be fun with objects, is kind of the rumor at the moment, at least. So, taking that into consideration, you know what I'll do? I'll use a freestanding half wall. There's bound to be one in here that looks better. Like even that. Because I could put like a little bit of rope in the center and it just looks like it's tied. Like a very simple, just meant to keep like rodents and things out. Either that or that could work too. No. Let's see. Oh well. I just want it to seem like it's like a little simple gate, nothing fancy. And then let's just put a little bit of rope on top. Seems like it's that. It seems like it's quickly lashed together. Nothing fancy. So the first floor you'll be able to generate with the round room AI, and it'll be made filled with stuff. The second floor, third floor, everything going up, you're gonna have to do by hand. But round rooms, random shapes, much, much easier. How you been, Aconite? What you been up to, brother? Oh, there's going to be tons of stuff to help with that. I believe there is a Mage Tower room type. There's also tons of new magic objects, potions, things like that, including... I mean, there's all sorts of random magic knickknacks. Remember, I collected a list of suggestions from the community, and we got a ton of new stuff. There's, like, bags of teeth, all sorts of, like, anything you would consider a random magical object. There's a bunch of options. There is a, like, this cool box that seems like you would lock an entity in it, like a spirit or a demon, and it has, like, a multi-stage opening setup. There's lots of different portals. There's tons of different wands. It's going to be so much easier to make wizard spaces, magical spaces. So as far as new room types, we've got a potion brewing class, witch's hut, skeletal throne room. I think there's a wizard's tower or something like that. There's an extra dimensional room. So many different ones. So one of my best practices, Sarosen Games, and welcome, by the way, to the stream and to the community, Save often, okay? Save frequently, okay? And if you're putting a lot of time into a map, make sure it's saved in 2 separate locations, i.e. like 2 different drives. Maybe your master, like your computer in an external drive, or your external drive and a flash drive. That way you have a backup, or the Steam Workshop and your hard drive. There's, I mean, on the workshop, there's quite a few towers, I'm sure. Yeah, you could just download one of these and use it. Takes a second. It would probably, I'd be done already. But I like having all the customization of multiple floors, you know what I mean? But yeah, so Saracens save often, okay? Another tip is remember to use the collision toggle. When you disable collisions, it's kind of like hacking mode for DA. A lot of different behaviors are changed. So normally you can't put objects close to each other. They give you kind of this red UI saying no. When collisions are disabled, you can merge objects closer together to make new, unique objects. So like this outcropping of rocks, a rock is a bunch of rocks merged together. In that same instance, when you disable collisions, you can make objects much smaller than normal and much larger than normal. So they go beyond their normal limits. Lastly, when you disable collisions, this little guy appears right here. You can move objects up and down. So you can raise objects up and down and essentially give you the freedom to build at different tiers or levels much better. But in the Magic update, there's like 600 plus new objects, and the majority of them are Magic themed. So yes, you will expand your abilities. Oh my gosh, there's so many new books for like, in general, you know how we only have like a few books? Tons of new books. Tons of new like magical objects, magical assets, magical tools. There's like a whole artificer workshop with tons of like engineering tools and parts and gears and doodads. It's crazy how much stuff there is. Okay, let's get back to this. I want some pumpkins, like over here, a little pumpkin patch. Every once in a while, we need a big pumpkin. And then do some smaller ones. Just trying to use this portion. This weird kind of space on the side. Now much more used. So we now got 2 sections of the garden here. You know what it needs? A shovel. We'll add a wheelbarrow. This one right here, right? And then we'll put a shovel in that with some dirt. I'll just put this spade kind of sticking out of the back. Fun with objects, man. Fun with objects. That's all I'm gonna say. From now on. In fact, if anyone brings that up, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh, I got a jar of dirt. Shovel, wheelbarrow, dirt. That looks pretty nifty. So what I do when I want to shovel upright, I just use the bread peel. Because technically, shovels all used to be made out of wood. Metal hasn't always been available, okay? The first primitive tools were either stone or wood. In fact, and bone, too. In fact, around Stonehenge, they found tons of wooden tools, bone tools, stone tools, so it's like essentially was made out of like a combination of everything. But you could use a bread peel kind of as just a basic spade. Doesn't need to be intense. Oh, the collision toggle is like one of the best parts of Dungeon Alchemist. Another thing I can recommend for you, Saracen, the Steam Workshop tab up here. If you'd go in here, you can actually browse a collection of maps or 3D models to enhance your collection. There's over 8,000 maps and over 35 3D models. The maps are pre-made and shared, so just download a map, good to go. You can look at it, use it as inspiration, reverse engineer it to learn what they did. And when you download a map that has custom assets in it, it'll prompt you to download and subscribe to those assets too. So it'll add those to your collection automatically. So make sure you check out the workshop. It's a great way to, quickly find a map. Maybe you're running a Lost Mines campaign, right? Phandelver campaign. So there's dozens of Phandelver maps pre-made, so you can save time by downloading one and using it for your campaign, or using it as a base, as a foundation to expand upon or make changes that'll work for your table. Hey, Andrep, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So there's these maps, and you also have the asset browser, which, let's say you're looking for a very specific thing that isn't in our asset mark, or like in the assets in the object menu. You could try searching it. Maybe you want a roof. So there's a bunch of roofing options, right? Or maybe you are looking for a sword. There's tons of extra different swords. There's a sword in the stone. There's a vertical sword with a skull. Tons of different options that aren't stock in DA. I'm doing good, Andrep. Thank you for asking. How about yourself? There is sci-fi assets, modern assets, Fallout assets, anime assets on the workshop. Tons of different things that are just not stock. Let's see if there's corn. We do have some corn stalks. Let's grab some of those. I don't think we have corn in DA, right? We do have like corn on the cob, right? Like just the piece, but we don't have corn stalks. So I'm gonna add this to the corn. Let's disable it. So notice when collisions are on, you see that red? It's like, no. It's like, hey, X-Men are not allowed here, okay? You turn that off, now all of a sudden the X-Men can be wherever they want. Andre? Ah, yeah, sorry for butchering your name there. Kind of thickening out the stalks here. Cool. So, we've got corn. We've got beans. We've got pumpkins. We've got a big, nice flower patch with the dryad. I was going to put some mushrooms all throughout this area. Notice I can shrink that. I think I was going to put mushrooms all around the outside of the dryad bed. Cabbage! That's a great idea. Thank you for that suggestion. We need some cabbage. Isn't that under the food menu, though? I think it is. Cauliflower. I'm thinking I could even make these look like grapes. Because the vines kind of look like grapevines. So you could even do grapes in these instead and make them seem like it's for wine instead of food. But either or. We also have cauliflower. I do like this, but what I'm going to do before I do this is I want to make defined rows in the dirt. So I'm going to grab the terrain tool. I'll use this darker one. Really thin. And actually, let's go over it with the light. Then I'm going to go back over it with the dark in like thin little rows so it seems like tilled earth in that line. Operating. Yeah, no, that ain't going to work. Don't like that. Yeah, trying to make some furrows. I might just dig into the ground a little bit. Like some depressions. Then I'm going to go back over it. You can kind of still see it. Doesn't seem to be changing much in the middle there. Anyway. And by the way, everyone, I'm holding shift as I generate the lettuce, and so that automatically creates a duplicate, which saves you a ton of time when you're doing like a lot of the same object. I can just keep clicking and clicking and now I just need Farmer Maggot, right? I wasn't dropping no leaves, sir. Okay, so we've got lettuce. We've got corn, we've got beans, we've got pumpkins, a little flower garden. I want to add some mushrooms around this little dryad flower bed. And then we'll be done outside. I'm going to quickly save. Remember to save often, save regularly, because you don't want to lose your work, people. If you don't save, you could put in an hour and GA could crash, your computer could freeze, and boom, it's gone. So save frequently. Once a week is enough, that risky save. So basically, I'm very sorry, not basically. I'm very hyped for our next update because the autosave feature is being added. I know many of you have wanted this for a long time. So basically, no longer will you risk losing your saves because, you know, you forgot to save at a regular interval. The autosave will cover you. Essentially, you can set it to 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, and it'll regularly go through and autosave, and it puts a save duplicate right next to your original that says autosave. In the last 5 minutes, we've had a couple follows. Just want to shout those out. So, Farragon and Mara Phoenix, thank you so much for the follows. Welcome to the Dam Fam. Oh, Paka77 as well. Thank you, thank you. It overwrites the previous save. There's only one autosave for each map. So whatever the interval is, when it does a new save, it deletes the old one and overwrites it. So you won't have 100 autosaves. So basically, every time so to start autosave, you have to save your map once, set a name, right? Once you set the name, it'll start autosaving at the interval you have set up. In the menu, there'll be an autosave tab here. And then you can select that. Here, you know what? I'll show it to you really quick, okay? Maybe. Oh, yep, I can do it. One second. In the Magic update, we're adding the long-awaited autosave feature. Say goodbye to lost progress. Set your save intervals to 5, 15, 30, or 60 minutes, and keep your hard work safe. One moment. Name and save your map once, and let autosave secure your dam file with a duplicate right next to it. You can hear it, but you couldn't see it. I made a mistake. In the Magic update, we're adding the long-awaited autosave feature. Say goodbye to lost progress. Set your save intervals to 5, 15, 30, or 60 minutes, and keep your hard work safe. Name and save your map once, and let autosave secure your dam file with a duplicate right next to the original. The Magic update is coming soon, so stay tuned for more information. In the Magic update, we're adding the long-awaited autosave feature. Say goodbye to lost progress. Set your save intervals to... I hope that answers your question there, as far as autosaves. So I will say this, we are very close to an official date announcement. I would expect maybe within the next 7 days to get an official announcement as to when we're launching, okay? So let's just, let's be patient. It's soon, TM. That's all I can say for now, okay, fam? Say that again, Robert. Trying to think if there's anything else I could put out here too. I still don't get it, but it's cool, man. Sometimes I try to be a know-it-all reference person, but I don't know everything. But on the first, we have a stream across all our platforms, including here, right? Where we'll be streaming and showcasing the Magic update. So, if, if by that time we haven't announced it, we'll probably announce it on the stream, is probably the safe bet. Oh, see, I haven't read or watched Watchmen pretty much since it came out. So I am a little bit off there. I'm sorry, bud. Do these rows look good spread? Like, does everything in this garden look reasonable so far? It doesn't look too crowded? So what I was gonna do is use some of these mushrooms as like a natural shade. Is that kind of a cool idea? That might be too much shade. Never mind. Maybe one right here. But what if it's a special type of lettuce? Yep, shadow leaf. See, though our community likes to humor me, but you don't, Sacia. Why do you hate me, Sacia? What I'll do is I'll put these ones under it. And they can grow out in the shade. Smaller patch underneath. It's a symbiotic relationship. Okay. Fairy ring. So in our next update, by the way, we'll have a tool that you can draw rings of objects. So like rings of spikes to make like a quick impromptu goblin fort or a fairy ring of mushrooms, etc. So that will definitely be on the menu in the near future. Okay, I think the garden's looking pretty good. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm gonna save it. One other thing I think we need, though, is water. Like, what does this guy drink? There is no water. We don't have a well. So I'm thinking a well is the way to go. I might put one, like, over here somewhere. Just kind of out of the way. Well, well, well. Like a little well house right here. And then we could do like a... We have these like canopies and stuff, and we'll cover that. I think it's something like overhang, just like a little... an awning. Nothing fancy. You could see there's a well, but it's covered. Or should I just leave it exposed? Yeah, it looks pretty good like that. I like it like that. Okay, let's move back to decorating. So we were going to do the second floor as like a study, if I recall. It was going to be like books and experimentation and stuff like that, right? So let's dive right into that then. I'm going to save. And then I'm going to get in here and we'll look, let's start with shelves. We could grab a couple that are already filled, right? And we could leave a few empty. I'm gonna need a desk. Start with that. Okay, we got us a desk. Then we'll put some more stuff on the desk. Start with this. Actually, no, let's furniture and then decorate. The other thing, too, is I was thinking the next floor is going to be a spiral stair going up. And on the workshop, I know that our friend... Hey, chat, are you still connected right now? Because I'm feeling like chat might have froze or got DC'd or something. Oof, what'd I do? Got a nice little banister there. AoE markers. I know there are some, I saw some rings, status rings. I could have sworn I saw them on here once. Where are they? Maybe someone deleted the collection. Oh, here they are. Condition rings. This collection right here has a bunch of them. And you could, because they're STLs, you can set a color to them within DA. So let me show you, like with, anyway. Here, we'll do poison. So with the condition ring, you can place this down, set the size, that's pretty massive, so you can shrink it, and then set a color, so you could put it to green, right? So search condition rings on the workshop. There's a collection of them already. Thought I downloaded all these. Wanted to make sure. Okay, we're good. Perfect fit. That's what I was looking for. Ah, amazing. Brilliant. Looks so good. Okay. You know, we're not a virtual tabletop, Wardian. However, I do think some VTT Lite features are on the menu at some point, so I'm sure the devs will give you something along those lines eventually. Am I playing the same song over and over again? Because that's no fun. Yeah, it was the same. Right? I mean, technically, you could do multiplayer map builds already. I've done it with people in our community. Essentially, you play what I would call Hot Damn. It's a variation of Hot Potato. And essentially, you pass the map back and forth after you make a few changes and save it. Okay, so I want to put some books on this, right? That just looks awful. I don't really like that. Thought I was doing something cool. Wonder maybe I could put the desk over here on this. Right, like that. Then it uses that weird curved space a lot better. Which is kind of a waste at the moment. But also the center stair is going to be here. No, I should put that first. Oh, man. Oh, my. Can't tell me that doesn't look amazing. Okay, so that's how we have space to work around. So I couldn't put anything there if I wanted to. Let's put in the desk again. I'm gonna save for the 5th time in the last minute because I want to make sure. See, the cool thing about Dungeon Alchemist is you don't have to feed anything, so that's not going to happen. Luckily. You're like, I'd rather build solo. Fine, I'll do it myself. Okay, what kind of stuff should we have in here filling up this space? Obviously, we need books, right? So I'm gonna put some like shelving here to put books in, and potions and little things like that. Probably a table, a workbench. I'm thinking workbench right here, right? A lot of this stuff. Ooh, rugs. Yep. Dyson, you're right. Rugs first. Because they need to be below all this stuff, right? You know, I'm going to want one of these alchemist workbenches, though. I'm going to just put that there. We'll go to rug. Oh! What did I do? Is that rug just too massive now? It looks good. But I could shrink it, right? And make it fit the planks. Curse you, Kevin grumbles. Like that. Something like this. A lot cleaner fit. What do you think? I think that looks pretty clean. Not very centered though, so I'm gonna move it just the littlest bit. I noticed under here too is a cool little space. That could be where the workbench is. Like that's a nice, but then you need access to the stair, so maybe under this side we can put something. I want one of those little rotating bookshelves. So let's see. We go into the library, we got lots of cool stuff. Yeah, let's fill up his desk. Put some like sorted documents just piling up here. Put it up at the top like. And then need an ink well, right? Just like that. And oh yeah, the blackboard is cool. Big. But we can always shrink it down. Something like this right next to it. Get some notes scribbled on it. Like a crazy board, you know? With some string and stuff. It's not a crazy board, it's a to-do list. Not a crazy wall. No one sets out to create a crazy wall. It just happens organically. So I've noticed we've gone past the hour. It's time to wrap up the stream. That being said, I think we got a lot of productivity today. We got the whole garden done. Got the second floor started. Most of the exterior's good. I want to do some pavers and stuff to like the outhouse and to the well. And I was thinking of maybe, I don't know, putting like something here. I don't know what to do here. I don't want a garden close to the outhouse. I like that there's a separation here. Help me think of what to put there. Maybe we'll do it next week. But I'm going to put some shelving in here, some books, some potions and stuff. Fire pit. Interesting. You know, we could have an open air foundry. Like a little, you know, like a blacksmith forge. Coffee machine. Interesting. Remember, the first floor could use some stuff still. We could put a little coffee pot in here. There's still room to... All right. So I am building a multi-floor wizard tower. So this is my wizard's respite. It is a kind of secluded location where he can teleport to, dimension door to, whatever, and get away if he needs to. And it also has kind of an escape route if he is ever, like, found out. There's a little, escape hatch in the back there. So essentially, this is going to be a multi-floor tower deep in a wooded area in a deep, dense forest that he has cleared out and made into his kind of home away from home. Floating candles. I like that. We do need lighting on the bottom floor a little bit more too, so I'm open to that. So the bottom floor is mostly just food, drink, you know, stuff for that, right? We got a little stove, different things hanging out in here. There's some barrels over here. There's a little bit of room for some stuff here and here. Anyway. Cool. Unfortunately, though, we do have to wrap it up. Now it's time for so long. We'll just sing one more song. Appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with me today for Mapmaker Monday. Thank you so much for being here as part of the stream. Whether you were actively chatting and sharing, you know, tips and feedback in chat or giving advice for this build, or if you were just lurking and watching and learning, appreciate you as well. New members of our community who are new today that dropped a follow or their first time chat today, thank you so much for joining us and becoming part of the Damn Fam, as well as longtime supporters who are here week after week, rain or shine. Thank you so much for supporting community initiatives. As you can see in chat, we do have some streams. The schedule is, pretty regular. I stream every Saturday and every Monday across our various stream platforms. Monday is Mapmaker Monday. Saturday, we alternate the Damn stream every other Saturday, and the Damn Challenge stream alternating Saturdays. The Damn Challenge is a map-making stream. It's a map-making challenge, essentially. So our community members are given a theme. The current theme is Horde. So you can choose whether you want to use Horde with H-O-R-D-E or H-O-A-R-D-E. So you can pick which version of the word you want to use. So using that word as inspiration, make a map of any shape or size. The Damn Challenge actually will be extended this time. It'll be pushed back 1 week. After the second reveal stream, the Damn Challenge will return. Okay? Or no, not that one. 2 weeks after the reveal stream, the Damn Challenge will return. Thank you so much for lurking, hanging out, vibing, just being here in general. For all those that followed today, you rock. And remember, if you need any support in between the streams, feel free to drop by our Discord. We have 2 channels dedicated to support, the question channel and the support channel. Great places to drop a thread and get live support from myself, community members, staff members, mods, etc. So if you have questions or need any support during the week, feel free to drop in. Thank you again for being here. Again, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making utility available on Steam. We'll see you next time I give a damn. Mac out. Bye.